Hi, my name is Jessica. I'm in the concurrent education program at Laurentian University. I'm currently in my third year, and I've been offered a position in the coaching program.
Hi, my name is Holly, and I'm in grade 7, and I have a learning disability.
Hi, my name's Mercy, and I'm Holly's mom, and thrilled to have Holly part of the coaching program.
We had our first meeting beginning of October, and at first it was a little bit difficult to start the coaching program because it's something I haven't done before, and it's something that's completely different because you're working with students that have exceptionalities. So we have to have sessions before coming in to the coaching program to ensure that we know how to work along with these students and how to approach the coaching. It was an introductory session, so we got to know each other. We did life maps together. I introduced my life to Holly through a life map, and I taught her how to make a life map on the computer because she uses assistive technology to help with her learning disability. And then I also did an assessment with Holly to see how she felt about the coaching session. So we were just discussing between the two of us what it felt like to meet at the library together, and then she went home and was telling me how she felt. So that was really good way of communicating between the three of us. So the parent, the coach, and the student. I think that's a really good relationship to have, and it's an opportunity that I'm glad it's been presented here at Laurentian, because you're able to meet the parents before ever becoming a teacher and meet the students before ever becoming a teacher as well. So you get to start to understand how the dynamic, what the dynamic is behind being a teacher.
How did you feel, Holly, about these coaching? Have you done the coaching before?
No, I was a little bit nervous, but then once I met Jessica, everything got better because we can just open up and tell each other about stuff maybe that you don't really want to ask in class. And also you can just ask math questions and you don't feel like a fool in front of her.
I like the idea of one-on-one coaching because you get to know the student as an individual instead of just a student in your class. So you get to create a relationship where the student feels comfortable with you, and I felt very comfortable talking to Holly about my school day and how I felt about my program as well. So she has maybe a better understanding of what it's like for a student, a university student, to come into this placement. And I think that's important that university students are working along with elementary school and high school students.
Okay, Jessica, how much did you know about learning disabilities before you started this program?
Before I started the coaching program and the coaching sessions given by LDAS, I did not know anything about learning disabilities. All I knew was that there were students that had them and there were students that did not have them. So with the sessions that we were given in our education program, I learned that there's all different kinds of students that can have learning disabilities, and there's many different types of learning disabilities and degrees as to how severe they may be or how moderate they may be. I also didn't quite understand the IEP process, and now I know that IEPs are very important for students, teachers, and parents to be involved in. And I think now I know that the student's voice is something that's very important to consider when creating an IEP.
And what have you learned already in 3 sessions in working with Holly?
I've learned that it's important to get to know your student before jumping in to a lesson, and it's important to listen to what your student is telling you about what they need to know and what's important to them, so that you can work with them to help them learn further about their strengths and also how to work with their needs. Also, I've learned that assistive technology is very important for students with learning disabilities because it helps them express information they might not so easily express when they're around others.
Okay. Now, Mercy, why did you put Holly into this program? Because it's the parents who actually sign up for it.
That's right. I actually heard about the program through the Learning Disability Association of Sudbury at one of the Pathways Conference that's hosted by Cambrian College as well. My husband and I first attended because when we found that Holly had a learning disability, we didn't know that much ourselves. Just same boat that Jessica was in. So we had to do a little bit of learning ourselves about that. And I heard some very positive response from people who had taken part in the program before. So when the time came around that Holly would be in the eligible category, it is something that we looked into. Holly, I mean, you want to give your child every opportunity as a parent, and I saw this as potentially another avenue to really help Holly come along, especially in terms of esteem. And I understood that part of it would be about learning a little bit more about herself, so really to help Holly find her voice. Because that's something that I think that she struggled with a little bit, and so I saw that as an opportunity that way.
Well, I don't have a disability, I just learn differently, so I'm not disabled, I just learn differently than most students.
But does that make it harder for you at school?
Yes.
In what way?
Well, you have to use a laptop and get extra help, and sometimes in a class with lots of kids, it's a little hard because the teacher's always busy, and if you don't get a book and you can't really understand anything, and you ask somebody, sometimes they don't really understand. They're like, well, why don't you get the word simple? Sometimes frustrating.
So how can you help your child within the system, knowing that there are times when she's struggling?
Yes, as a parent, it's very hard to see your child struggle. And I think, as I said, the first thing is, as a parent, to become as educated as you can be about learning disabilities to start with. And then, I know for Holly in the early years, because she had a learning disability and perhaps didn't have a level of self-confidence or self-esteem where she could speak up for herself, I think it's very important for a parent to be able to act as an advocate for your child, whether it be at the IEP meetings, the IPRC meetings, even at parent-teacher interviews. And we had just such a meeting yesterday, actually, with Holly's teacher. And it was interesting because in the course of, frank discussion about, what some of her strengths are, what some of her challenges are, Holly's teacher commented to me that although he's been a teacher for many years, this year, and seeing so many children in his class with learning disabilities, it's forced him to look at teaching the class differently. And so stretching him outside his comfort zone, which I thought was wonderful to hear, an educator being so honest about what their experience has been. And he, of course, knows that Holly is part of the coaching program, and commented that he thinks it's great that these students are getting this opportunity where you're faced in a classroom setting thinking, what am I going to do with these kids?
When something works, let's spread the word so that more children can benefit.